everyone. My name's Maria Patterson. I'm calling in from Indianapolis, and I'm so excited to talk to everybody today. My handle, you might have seen me on Instagram, is Dr.Doolittle, which I'm very proud of, and welcome to the International Association of Woodcarvers weekly meeting.
All right, everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the International Association of Woodcarvers. Today is Saturday, January the 6th, 2024. This is our first meeting of the new year, so Happy New Year to you all. Hope everybody had a great Christmas and a good new year, and you're ready to start off 2024 with a lot of wood carving content. We've worked really hard to try to work on our schedule and come up with some good presenters. Today on our meeting, we're going to have Maria Patterson. Maria's Wood Carvings, Dr. Doolittle. She'll be on with us in just a second to talk to us about her interesting background in wood carving adventures. Next week on the 13th of January, we'll have Legan Lippard on. If anybody knows him from Instagram, he's Halflings Carvings. On the 20th of January, Joshua Waters of Windy Cape Studios is going to be in with us. On the 3rd of February, Josh, and I'm going to slaughter his last name, Josh Araro, and somebody correct me if they know how to pronounce his last name. It's Arroyo. Will be with us on the 3rd. On the 10th, Isaac Middlemist will be on. And on the 17th, Angie Cashno, who is Whittle Angie Art on Instagram. So we've got several presenters that's coming up. Just want to thank everybody who have volunteered to come on and present with us. I continue to hear from people, and I know that without presenters, we don't have these meetings. So I just want to thank everybody for volunteering, coming in and sharing with this group. It's a great group of carvers. Carvers are the best community, I think, out there. And we appreciate everybody that comes on and shares with us on here. Before we get started with the meeting, I want to talk to you a little bit about something that's coming up. This will be a new announcement, and I guess I'll be the first one to let the cat out of the bag. Notified today by Chris Hammock that the CCA website's been updated. So if you want to go out there now, you can see the new Carving the Rockies show information. That's coming up in September. This year, it's going to be on September 14th and 15th in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Again, you can go to the cca-carvers.org website and check that out. There's a few new things that's going to be happening at that show this year. There's going to be a new book called Read My Lips that you can go out and pick up there. They're going to have 3 days of classes after the show. So the show will be the 14th and 15th. And then there'll be classes on the 16th or the 18th. So if you're interested in signing up for the classes, probably need to go ahead and go out and check that out and try to get signed up. Again, this year we'll have the Ugly Cowboy contest like we did last year. They'll be having that at the Flying W Ranch like they did last year, the social that they did on Saturday night. This year, they're also going to have the CCA World Champion Whittling competition there at the show. I think that's going to be on Sunday. So that's something new that we'll be doing there. And then they'll be doing carving demonstrations on Saturday and Sunday at the show. Whereas last year they did some demonstrations, but they did classes during the show also. This year they're moving the classes up to Monday through Wednesday. So something a little different. And then this year, the theme category is going to be Bigfoot or Sasquatch. Last year we had I think it was a bird competition as a bird as a caricature. This year it's Bigfoot or Sasquatch. Again, all that information is out there on the CCA website. Make sure you go out and check that out. I'll be sending out some advertisements here in the near future. I'll probably replace this sign with a new logo. You'll see all of that stuff on the website. So make sure you go out and check that out. I know some of you all will be going to Ryan Olson's class right after this meeting. Ryan's starting a class today on carving female caricatures. So we're going to try to wrap this up by 4:30 so everybody can get to that class that's in this meeting and going to be participating in the class. Remind you, Dave Stetson has a class coming up on January the 20th. He's going to be carving an elderly couple. So if you're interested in signing up for Dave's class, make sure you reach out to Dave, get signed up, find out what you need to be able to participate in that class and come in and join us. That's one I'm really looking forward to. So check that out. Again, today on our meeting, we've got Maria Patterson coming to us from Indianapolis. She has a blog that she writes. She's a fairly new carver, but she's going to talk to us about her journey and her handle being Dr. Doolittle. So Maria, I appreciate you coming in today. I'm going to go ahead and turn the meeting over to you.
Why don't we give it to Dave first?
Oh,
We'll give it to Mr. Stetson.
see, I did the same thing I did last time. Before we get started, Maria, sorry about that. We're going to go to Dave Stetson and have Dave Stetson's words of wisdom. Dave, sorry, just trying to move on here. So we'll go ahead and turn it over to Dave first and then get Maria on after that.
Having said all that,
Yeah.
I get questions often online, people asking me, where do you come up with your ideas? How did you figure out how to do that? And where did that idea come from? And so I get a lot of inspiration from artists who have gone before me, before all of us actually. And Pablo Picasso is known for saying you can't find inspiration. It finds you when you're working. And I thought there was a lot of deep truth to that when you give it some consideration. Wanting and achieving something are far removed from each other without a huge investment in time and effort. So Walt Whitman said, keep your face always toward the sunshine and shadows will fall behind you. So choose to be positive, feels better, and work and things will happen for you.
Thank you, Dave. We appreciate it. So having said that, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to Maria. Again, thank you, Maria, for coming in today and sharing with us, coming to us from Indianapolis. We'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Hey, everybody. Did I unmute myself? I did.
You're good.
Okay, great. Can I tell you something? And we'll talk about my background, whatever, how much you want to talk about. But I have done a ton of different presentations, coming from tech and everything. And I was in government for a while. And I've given presentations to chief data scientists in the United States, to CIO, all these people. I have not been so nervous today than I have in a very long time, because I see everybody's names here and I, follow all y'all on Instagram and everybody. So I'm fangirling out right now and I'm super, super nervous. Can I tell you? So what should I don't know, Blake, I'll just talk about my journey. How I started.
So tell us about what got you started in the wood carving and why you've chosen this path to go on as compared to other things that you could be doing.
Perfect. Yes. So I have my handle, Dr. Doolittle, and which I think is very funny to me. It's like one of the things I'm most proud of is my Instagram handle. But so my background is in science and tech. I have a PhD in astronomy. So I'm the useless kind of doctor, I like to say. But I spent a lot of time in academia working on a lot of stuff, all data stuff, cloud computing, data intensive science, in astronomy. And I left academia and I moved into more of the tech world and the startup world. So I worked at a venture studio here in Indianapolis. And I was working on data science teams. So I was working with like startup founders and helping them to do data science, put them in their software and that sort of thing. And I guess before that, I was just getting super burned out. And I needed something that was the opposite of technology. And because I would go home from work, as a postdoc, and I realized that my hobby was doing competitive data science projects on this like data science competition platform, because that exists. Okay, so that's what I was doing. And I was just so burned out and I needed something else. And I actually don't remember how I got started or how I came across it, but I ordered one of those from Shipping Away, the beginner's carvers kit. And so I started doing that, and that was sometime between 2014 to 2016. And of course, and I was telling Blake and Dave yesterday that I started that, and I didn't keep my knife sharp, which is probably every beginner's, one of their biggest mistakes. And so I started with that, and here's the apple that I never finished. So this is my first thing I did, and I completely gave up on it. So go ahead, my advice is give up. And then pick it up and keep going, keep your knife sharp. And so I gave up for a while, and I did other things to keep my brain kind of fresh. I was running, and I took up guitar for a short while. And then when I moved to Indianapolis, I started doing woodworking classes at our art center, which is really wonderful. So doing kind of small furniture and cutting boards and all that kind of thing. And then, of course, the pandemic hit. And I think a lot of folks here probably, got more into carving if you weren't already during the pandemic. And so that's when I really started to, kind of try to figure out, okay, what else can I make? And I followed Doug Linker and just kind of learning those simple kind of whittles and that sort of thing. And then over this past year, I was really burnt out. So I've taken most of the year or half the year off and kind of trying to really work towards getting better, not getting good, but getting better. I made it my goal for this year to try and do an art fair or an art sale. And I did my first one in October at a fall art sale. And I sold out of most of the carvings I made, including some of the cottonwood bar carvings I started getting into as well. And then I did another one. So I did two this year, just before Christmas. So I did a winter art sale too, of course, with all the Santas and the ornaments and that sort of thing. But I'm getting really into it now, and I think I've changed. I've learned a lot. There's always more. And now most recently I'm getting more into the cottonwood bark, which I love because it's so nice to carve. And I'm currently taking Alec Lacass's wonderful class. I started that, and it's been wonderful.
So tell us about your blog. You're writing a blog also. Is that part of your?
Well, so I have a website. I wrote one blog post, and that's my post that's about today. So I'm starting a blog. I guess I will. And I was thinking about putting in there, kind of how I started out and some of the tools that I use and that sort of thing. When I did the art fairs, the two that I did, I had several folks come up and say that they just wanted to get into it, or they started getting into it and they didn't know what tools to use and that sort of thing. And I think probably all the things that I've done or I've not tried are because I have self-limited by the tools that I've gone out and purchased. I'll say only recently, getting some nice gouges and chisels to do cottonwood bark and that sort of thing. I still need to get a nice Helvey.
So do you want to show us some of the carvings that you've done?
Yeah. So I wanted to start off by showing people, my first one that I finished. What did I just do with it? Oh, here. Which is also from the Chipping Away Beginning Carver's Kit. And you might notice that it doesn't look quite like what the cutout looked like, because this is my accidental dachshund, of course, having chipped off one of the legs. But I did have a brown dachshund at the time, so works out. I actually really liked this at the time. So that's one of the first things that I finished. I have a couple other things here. This is one of my first carving the little guys. This is another one of the first ones I did. I also have several of Doug Linker's little ones. Here's a little one of those pocket bears. I'm just really trying to figure out, I guess, what I can do with, practice blocks. That's what I've been mainly doing. This is kind of a fun carving that I did out of basswood. And it was one of these things that I said, I want to make an owl. And I've done something else that's kind of like steampunk looking. And so I had this on my desk, and for months I would pick it up and say, I think I'll, make some of these, kind of camera looking eyes or gears, and just messing around and adding little details like the keyhole heart and the gears and that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to still find my style, obviously. Painted it, it's sort of metallic looking. So that's something that I think is really fun. And let's see, I'll show one of my first cottonwood bark carving actually here, which is a wood spirit. And I did this one early this year, I think in March. So I just started doing cottonwood bark this year. And I started doing it following Doug Linker's, he has one about carving a wood spirit. And so that's how I got into cottonwood bark. And then I'll show my first fairy house in cottonwood bark. This one I'm really proud of. Actually, it's a lot of fun. With the little stairs in the round door. I really just love the grain. I think my cottonwood bark actually looks different than other folks, probably getting it from a different place, but just that pop of the grain in the circle. And actually this one I submitted to a gallery exhibit in like local Midwestern sculpture. And so it just came back from an exhibit there. I was so excited to actually, be able to show this off in a gallery, art gallery. So that's pretty cool. I got more. I don't know. What should I keep going or what? What do you
Yeah,
think?
keep going.
Oh, okay, keep going. Okay, so here's another my cottonwood bark carvings. It's another kind of fairy house. I'm just really into cottonwood bark right now. I don't know if other folks are using it, but it's so like soft and kind of satisfying. This one I also, there's a little door there, which I think is really cute. This one I submitted to an exhibit called Woodworks in Georgia. So I was really excited that that was the first gallery exhibit that was nationally open for submission, and I got to show this one there. I'll show something interesting. I've been learning so much from Alec Lacasse's class, and I feel like I should ask for a kickback because I keep telling everybody about it. So Alec, if you're watching, but so this is one of the first or one of the wood spirits that I did before I took Alex's class. And I was always kind of bothered by the nose. I mean, yeah, I am, by the nose and the eyes. And it was only after I started taking his class I could see, you always look back at your older carvings and you can see what you don't like about them, for sure. And so I really liked this at the time. I mean, it was probably the best one at the time, I think, and how it looks. But I can tell, now that I don't have the ball of the nose quite right, and the eyes, for sure, don't have the shape that I'm learning through Alex's class. And so should I show these two next to each other? This is the first face that I did from Alex's class, doing that series of 5, just how to do a face. I think he's got 5 of them. That's like the foundation, and then you go through the nose and the mouth and that sort of thing. And I'm really proud of this one, actually. I think it's pretty good. But you can tell if I show these next to each other. What? Yeah. So really, working on those realistic details, that ball of the nose, I think looks much better there. And then if you look at the eyes, you can kind of see it, right? That slope, since your eyes are back and in your head. So that's the first one I did with Alex's class. And I also, oh yeah, I put two on here because I did one open and one closed eyes. And so you can see, I really try to make that so the eyes are up and back in the head. But of course, I look at this one and I think, oh, I think the brow is too far forward and that sort of thing. But I'm super happy because these are the first times I did mouths too. So I'd never done that kind of realistic looking mouth. So came a long way, I'd say, from my first one. And of course, there's all types of different styles, but I'm really liking just kind of going for this more realistic style. And then this is my latest one. It's the last thing I've carved, and I finished it, I think, on New Year's Eve because I want to get one more in for the year. And it's an oak man in cottonwood bark, also following one of Alex's classes. And you can kind of see, I was trying, you know, to have the eyes up and back. It just makes such a difference in the way things turn out. And they got the oak leaves in there. This is a lot of fun. You know, so I'm learning more and more things about, you know, undercutting, like that sort of thing, and having all that kind of shadow. Yeah. So I'll show, let's see, where's my first? Yeah, my first one here. First little guy. And my last wood carving. This is also my first Santa. Let's see. There we go. So I'm super happy. You know, it's been how many years? Let's see, I actually put it on my blog. I started this one in October 2017. And then I gave up on it and I finished it in April 2019. So this took like 2 years after I, you know, threw it in a box in the closet somewhere. And so finishing up in 2019 and then, you know, the end of 2023. So, yeah.
Hey, Maria, we had a question in the chat.
Yeah.
It was actually sent to me as a private message. They want to know if you can outline the tools that you use for your cottonwood bark.
Sure. I use file. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. Do what? Let's see. I have them. Should I grab them? Let's see. I'm gonna see what I got here. I use file. Yeah, they're filed. You know, the ones that say Swiss made on them. Pardon me. Digging around at my desk, and I tried to, you know, pick up the ones that Alec has suggested also. I have a 520 that I use to kind of rough out stuff. And then I have a 915 that I use for like the nose and the eye structure. And then I have another 9.5 gouge. And then I have, let's see, an 11.3 for, that's like a veiner. And then I have 12.2, which is what's it called? A V tool. And then for a lot of the details, I actually use Flex Cuts palm tool set. And I have two. I have the like the original, I guess it's just I don't know, the basic palm tool gouges. And then I use the micro ones also for, like, you know, the small details, like to help with the eyes and that sort of thing.
And then another question, someone's interested in the bark that you use. Where do you purchase that, or where do you pick that up? They're saying that the patterns and stuff a little different than what they see from the north. So
that's the thing. It is different. And y'all wanted to know, like, where everybody else is getting their bark from. But I order mine from Chipping Away, the Canadian specialty store, which they sell, you know, you can choose by the way. And it does have, I noticed that the, you know, grain, it does look a lot different, I think, from some other folks I see on Instagram. So I don't know why it's different. I guess it's just from a different area. I'm not sure where other folks get their cottonwood bark from. But I also, so you don't have to switch back again or anything. But so you'll notice that this one and this one, they have two different finishes on them. This one has a shoe polish. I can't remember which one, but it was what was recommended in the illustrated guide to carving tree bark. And then the rest of them, I just always use Howard's feed and wax on them, so it turns like a darker kind of deep color. And I think that also helps the grain kind of pop.
And then another question we have, somebody's interested in your shows that you sold carvings at. What were the most popular carvings at the shows?
So let me tell you, I did. I was very proud of this little gnome that I did, and I'll just show it here. It's my tree hat gnome. I don't have any more that are painted because I sold out of them. But when I did my show on my fall show, it was 12 to 5 on a Saturday, and the very first thing that went was I only had one of these that went. So I didn't get to show, like I thought it was cool, so like be on my, my table and stuff. And then in my winter show, it started it was again 12 to 5, and at 12:03 I had one lady pick up all of them, and she was like, I'll take these. And then the lady next to her was like, oh, do you have any more? And so like the first lady gave one to the second lady, so it was gone in 3 minutes. So I would suggest, if you want to sell stuff for Christmas, people seem to like these old tree hat gnomes. Yeah. So that was really popular. And then the ornaments, and a lot of folks have different kind of ornaments. Blake's, like yours are always beautiful. The size I use is the split 1.5 inch block. Those are really popular too.
And so what is your painting technique on the owl that you did?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So I use, I've changed this over time. And my first stuff is really, I think a lot of people start off kind of really, really thick paint, but I've used the same paint. Now I've just thinned it out. It's just acrylic paint that I use. And I have, I can't remember let's see, Joe Sonja paint. This is a metallic one, but it's all the same brand. And I have like a little pack that's got tubes of a bunch of different colors. And then I'll water that down. And I do think it makes a difference. I also add this, let's see, sorry, I'm getting buried into my camera. Clear glazed medium from Joe Sonja also, because if I don't, it like makes the paint kind of flow more evenly, and you don't get like brush strokes and that sort of thing. But so the first thing I do actually is I put on a sealer. So I have my for basswood. So basswood, I'll take put this sealer on, and I'm very impatient, and I should wait a day or whatever, but I don't. And then I'll just water down the acrylic to whatever consistency I like, and then add the clear medium, and then of course do a lot of the layers. Like this one, you can see that it's pretty dark. I try to get really dark in all the cuts, and so I first do a really light watered down black wash, and then I will paint just like directly black in there, and then on top of it do the other layers. And that stuff I also learned from like Doug and other folks when his paintings, videos, and here's a Santa. So watering down the black and then really just painting it in there, and then layer of gray, and then the dry brushing technique for the lighter colors on top of that. I like what that process so far. And then the Howard feed and wax I put on top of everything. I use it for everything. Cottonwood bark, just straight Howard feed and wax. I don't do anything paint or anything. Although I have painted like very, very light green wash on the leaves for one of my green men, and I didn't really like that, and I might try that again. But again, it's just watered down acrylic.
So I noticed your shirt and the sign behind you that says I carve.
No, yeah,
where did
sorry,
you
I
get
don't have any AWC swag. I'll hit the store. I saw you guys got a bunch of great little sayings and that, so I just got to pick one or a couple. Otherwise I would have worn one of those. But yeah, this is Doug's from his store, one of his drops that he did, I carve. And I picked those up, and I've worn this I wore this to both of the art fair shows I did. It helps people identify me, because sometimes my husband was standing there too. Like, no, it's me. But yeah, there are Doug Linkers. I think he's got other ones now.
So you've got on your blog, I noticed that you have some upcoming events. What are your plans, or are they already passed? Do you have more shows you're going to be doing?
So, well, I submitted to a museum, the Albuquerque Art Museum. I'm not sure if it's the Albuquerque Art Museum, but it's a benefit and fundraiser for their arts foundation. And so I'm sending in 2 cottonwood bark carvings there, and they'll be on display, I think, like March to April, and they're also on sale there for the gallery. And then I don't know if other people saw it in galleries, but I've done it a couple times now. Of course, there's like a big commission. It's because it's a fundraiser, and so that's 40% there. And so that's, yeah, March to April, and there'll be things on sale. And then, do I have something else? Oh, I might be doing the Indiana Artisan Marketplace, I'm not sure, in April. So I juried into Indiana Artisan, which is this organization of people that produce like fine art and craft in Indiana. And I'm very honored to be admitted, because one of the folks that's actually in there is Larry Green. And so that just shows you how much I don't deserve it. But so Larry Green is more of the standard for that, but I might be doing, they have a marketplace twice a year and so I think I'm gonna do one in April. Either that or the Broad Ripple Art Fair, which is also in Indianapolis in May. So my goal this year is I want to do 2 again. I want to do something in the spring, and then something for Christmas. I got to stock up on these though before Christmas for sure. That's gonna be my goal all year. I gotta crank those out.
So we had another question. Can you give us the name of your blog, and do you have other social media outside of Instagram?
Yeah. So I feel like it's not really a blog, but it will be a blog. It's the name of my business that I have now, is a DBA that I started as sole proprietor, so I could do the art fairs. And it's called Hand to Heartwood, which I thought was real punny. So I like the Hand to Heartwood. So it's handtoheartwood.com is where I will put blog stuff. And I also put my portfolio of some of the cottonwood barks and the kind of more maybe unique whittles for the patterns that I come up with myself. And after I do this show in April or May, then I'm going to drop stuff to my my shop if people are interested.
And so another question, somebody's asking if you carve every day.
Do I carve every day? I try, but the thing is, I have a 2-year-old. And so it's not, actually, she knows well enough to like not go near my stuff, because I'm like, these are knives, they're very sharp. So she won't go near it. That's not the problem. It's just that when she goes to bed, I am very tired. I always say, I'm gonna stay up and I'm gonna I gotta work on this one. And then I go to bed. So I will try, I think, this year to do more. But I have been carving a lot because I'm not working outside of doing wood carving. So I have been almost every day, like during the daytime, when my mom will come and watch my daughter. But no, I don't. I should, but I don't.
So another question, back to your submissions to the museum. Somebody wants to know, how do you submit your art to a museum? Do you have to wait on an invitation or an ad requesting submissions, or how do you find out about this?
Yeah, great question. And I hope more folks do this because I'd love to see more wood carvings in museums, but in art galleries. That was one of my goals last year too. It was to try and figure out, okay, can I get my work into an art gallery or an exhibit or a museum? But there's a website, it's called Call for Entry. And I don't know what the website is. It's like cafe, something, Call for Entry, CAFE. And they have a listing there of basically every call for, museums and art galleries. They just write, there'll be some exhibit type, and I've found some there that I thought that were fitting and I was able to get into. Like there was one that I did, my first one over the summer was in Illinois, and it was for local Midwestern artists that were only using materials that were from the earth. It was called From the Earth. And so it was like clay and stone and wood. And I thought, oh, that's, that fits. So I submitted there. And then, the other Midwestern sculpture one, and the one in Georgia, which was called Woodworks. It was only for wood art. And so I found everything on Cafe Call for Entry there. There's a fee that you'll have to pay like $35 or something like that. And then what you do is you just submit you can have a portfolio and you put your pictures on there, and then you submit whatever you'd like to, have shown in the gallery exhibit. And most of them have asked for a 1,000 character, I think, artist statement also. So I've written one, and I just use it for everything, and then I'll submit stuff there. I think that's it. Callforentry.org. This should be. I'm not going to click on it because then I'll never find my Zoom screen again. But I think that's it. Yeah.
So what direction do you see your carving going in? I know you're doing a lot of cottonwood bark now. Do you plan on doing more realistic type stuff? Or are you going to go with caricature, or have you decided, or are you just going to do a variety of things?
I mean, yeah, I'm just really impatient, and I'll do, whatever I feel like at the time. I think I'm going to try more of the realistic stuff. I'll tell you, I didn't know what to expect when I did my first art fair sale. But I thought, okay, if I can make booth, make the $100 I paid for the booth, I'd be like, that's awesome. Right. And I didn't care, man, it was so wonderful because I think I had 6 cottonwood bark carvings there, and I sold 3 of them. But people will come by, even the ones that didn't buy anything, and they're like, wow, that's amazing. And it felt so good. And the stuff that they really love, I mean, they loved the fairy house like details and the doors, and then the eyes on the different wood spirits. And so I just love watching. Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know if it's Call for Entry or Call for Entries. They call themselves Cafe. Anyway, sorry, I was watching the chat. But it's just so much fun to hear people look at that. And I think it's just like when I go to a lot of art fairs just for fun, right? I never see any wood carving stuff really at like big art fairs. So I think I'm gonna keep at the cottonwood bark and doing the faces. I'm really enjoying Alex's class, so I want to see if I can do a female face as well. I think that's probably the next thing I'm going to do. And I was thinking, one of my goals, maybe this year, or maybe it's going to take me, another year, is to do like a commission. Because that's the other thing is I couldn't believe it. There were a bunch of people that were asking for commissions, and I was just like, no, I don't do those because I'm so scared, to mess up or not be able to do something, or have people be like, that does not look like my grandfather at all, Right. So I would really like to try some realistic faces of people with really distinct faces. So I wanted to do a Gandalf one. I think I'm going to try. And then I was thinking also about doing Einstein coming up to see if I can do something like that. Just practice. I think that, one of the things that is, of course, been to my benefit is that the wood spirits are so forgiving, because like, who knows what a wood spirit looks like, right? It can look like whatever. And so that's been great for just kind of learning the wood, characteristics and, you know, learning what just tools I need. I know that there's a few different shapes that I need to get some other tools. Of course, everybody needs a new tool all the time. But learning how to do that realism, I think that's going to be like the next kind of big thing that I need to do. And of course, I just want to stock up for Christmas too. I have a couple of my own little patterns. I just want to show this because it's cute. But I did this penguin. I don't know if you can see that all right. And with the Santa hat and the scarf. And I just really like how his little wings turned out there on a floating ice block. People really liked this too at the winter art sale that I did. So I really want to do make sure I can stock up so I can do a couple art fairs just to talk to people. And then I want to work on realistic faces and maybe I can get a commission from doing something that looks realistic.
And then another question, how do you decide when you're doing sales, how you set pricing, I guess, for your carvings?
I know. I struggle with that, right?
Yeah, that's the mystery for all of us.
Yeah. So there's a couple of different things. Like I had this spreadsheet because I'm a nerd, right? And I was putting in like how much I'd, think about paying somebody per hour, right? For like different skills, like for the whittles versus, a bias wood carving versus cottonwood bark carving. And then I kind of figure out how long it's taken me if I got or how long it should take me if I were much better at it. And then price like that. There's also actually a great workbook that I recommend to folks that I found online from, I believe it is either an organization in Minnesota or Wisconsin. I think it's Minnesota. I think it's called Springboard Arts. And I found them on Instagram, and they have a webinar series that they're doing for business for artists. And they have a great workbook there, and it has like pricing, like different ways to think about pricing. And so, yeah, I mean, you can think about materials costs and your time per hour, and then having some kind of overhead. And so I have a formula actually that I use. I'll tell you, like these I sold for $25 and I don't know, maybe I should charge a little more because they were gone in 3 minutes. I didn't get to show anybody. And this one I sold actually for 35. I don't know, I'm making up numbers and see what goes, but I got no more of these, so that worked. And then, these ones I sold for, and I don't know, maybe y'all are looking at me like, I wouldn't pay that much for it, but I sold this for 55, maybe, or 50 or 55. And then, do I have other stuff? Yeah, I've sold cottonwood bark carvings for between 195, I think, to 275. And of course, for cottonwood bark, I look at everybody else's cottonwood bark and I say, well, I gotta be cheaper. It's gotta be cheaper than like Alex, shop. So that tempers me, right? So I know what the upper limit is. And for everybody that's on here that, you're doing Santas or ornaments or whatever, I stalk everybody's Etsy's also to see like what the kind of price range is. I don't know, it's hard. But I would recommend that workbook.
So someone else is asking about your Christmas tree gnome. Is that your own pattern? And if so, are you willing to share it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's my own pattern. I mean, I can, how about if I put it on my blog?
There you go.
My new blog. Yeah, I'll trace it and I'll put it on there. That'll be my first one I do. I'm really proud of this because I got the star and not this one, but the other ones I did, I was able to go all the way through there. Make that little star. Maybe I'll do a different type of star, but yeah, this is my own pattern. Of course, it steals all the traditional kind of wizard or gnome pockets and that sort of thing. But yeah, that's mine.
So for new carvers, do you have any advice for somebody wanting to get started in wood carving? Stuff that you've learned along the way, just getting started without having somebody there to kind of show you.
Yeah. Well, the very first thing, I mean. And I think I said it, the reason why I gave up, I'm pretty sure the reason why I gave up the first couple times, the first how many times when I was picking up a knife is because it was not sharp. I didn't learn to strop my knives, and part of that was I didn't know if it was strop or strope actually. So I was like, but partially a little bit embarrassed to ask anybody about it, because there was a guy named Pedro Strop who was a pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. Anyways, really, I was like, is it strop or strop? So I didn't ever get a strop for a long time, and that's why obviously I gave up on my apple. That is still a block, right? Because this took me however long to even have the hand strength to take the corners off that. So anyway, I would say keep your knives sharp and all your tools sharp for sure. Oh, the other thing is I didn't know what kind of wood bass would get. And I think one of the first places was I ordered from Amazon, and I would say, don't order your wood from Amazon. Order it from a wood specialty carving store. Because once I got nice, basswood, I thought, wow, this is a lot nicer. This is great. So I would say good tools, sharp tools, good wood. Wear a glove. I know lots of folks don't like to wear gloves, but wear a glove, and then learn good technique, I guess, and follow along with YouTube tutorials, and just find something that you want to make and then keep doing it.
Nice. So does anybody have any questions? I'm looking at the chat to see if there's anything else out there. Does anybody want to unmute and ask Maria a question?
Yes, I'm in the US. Yeah, Indianapolis. Yeah.
Who have you connected with in Indianapolis? Like through the Woodcraft store? I used to live there. And there's a number of clubs there that are wood carving, and the folks at Woodcraft can guide you to a lot of the clubs. So I'm just curious if you've connected there with people.
They have, at both Woodcraft and Rockler here. If there's anybody else that's kind of local, I've run into people accidentally in the carving clubs, and I think like Sundays at Rockler, there's I can't remember what it is, Tri-County or Circle City Carvers or something like that. And I chatted people up in the store, but I haven't gone to any of them. It's hard because I have a 2-year-old. That's the thing. 2-year-olds.
I was part of the Circle City Carvers group.
Oh yeah, very cool. I think are you guys would go to Rockler?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew those folks too much.
Yeah. Cool.
I helped pay for their retirement.
Very nice. But yeah, other than that, I just connect with the folks at the Arts Center, the Indianapolis Arts Center. That's it.
If you're looking for some types of wood besides basswood, Northwest Lumber is a local family place there that has a tremendous supply of local woods like cherry and walnut, but also a lot of the exotic stuff. And I've tried to carve some more of the exotic stuff, which is more difficult, but it really comes out beautiful.
Yeah, can I tell you, I did pick up some wood there for a bas relief class I was doing at the Art Center. And you know what I did, because I don't know how to choose wood, is that I got some Purple Heart. And I'll tell you, that's just not a good place to start if you're learning to carve. It's Purple Heart. So yeah, I'll look into the wood that I should try. I mean, I know like other folks will do, I think butternut, they say, is forgiving. And if you do smaller stuff, I watch a lot of people on Instagram that'll do, pendants and that sort of thing. In maybe walnut, that looks nice. I would like to try that too. There's too many things I want to try.
So if somebody wants to buy a piece from you or has seen something that they like, can they reach out and contact you to see about purchasing something, or having you, like you said, do a commission?
Yeah. I think that'll work. I gotta stock up though, for April, but yeah, if you're interested, or if you really like something, of course, I want everything to go to a good home. I've learned to be less attached to stuff. So, so I can stop keeping everything I like now. But if there's something that somebody likes, yeah, of course, for sure.
Okay. Any other questions from anybody? Okay, Maria. Well, we appreciate you coming on and sharing. I look forward to seeing what you do next. Alec has been on our meetings several times, and he's a great guy, great instructor. And so I'm happy to hear that you're taking his classes. He's got a lot of good information out there, and a lot of times we'll advertise his classes. So if you're interested and you've seen something you like that Maria's done, check out Alec Lacasse and try to get into one of his classes as well. Thank you for coming on. Like I said, thank you for sharing. Maybe we'll have you back on in the future and see what you're up to then. You're welcome to join us every Saturday. You've heard the schedule, so you kind of know when we're meeting, but come on and join us again sometime in the future.
Thank you.
We
Thanks,
appreciate
Blake.
you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody.
I want to remind you all, check out Woodcarving Academy if you get a chance. Woodcarving Academy has classes out there that you can learn at your own pace, so make sure you check that out. You can do a subscription 1 month, 3 months, or a year. You can also find out about the upcoming workshops. And again, I'll remind you one more time about Dave Stetson's class that's coming up January the 20th. If you're interested in that, reach out to Dave and try to get on that. And I hope everybody enjoys Ryan's class today that's going in and taking that here in the next 30 minutes or so. Appreciate you all joining us today at the International Association of Woodcarvers. We'll be on next Saturday with Leg and Lippard Halflings Carvings at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all for joining us today, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you. But all you need to do is just say, hey, I'm Maria, coming to you from Indianapolis. A lot of you know me by Dr. Doolittle on Instagram. Welcome to the International Association of Woodcarvers. Now that's a mouthful, so if you don't get it right, don't worry about it. But something like that. However you want to do it, it's fine.
Yeah, we're good with whatever intro you want to give.
Okay.
We just want people to know that it's you that's going to be presenting instead of them having to listen to me first thing. So
Okay. Great.
yeah.
So I'll do it now.
Anytime you're ready. Yep.
Okay.
Woo! She's a pro. Like that. That's all you got to do.
Great job.
Great.